I hope it is clear. It will help you to understand what is this neural network and what is this neuron. Okay, so now you need to just simply develop a relationship between this x and y. How can you develop that? You can add some more information, you can multiply this information with some values, you can divide something, you can have integral part, you can have differentiation. So whatever you do, a small change with this formula is actually driving you some more thing in neural network, right? In neural network you'll get different names. Then it could be artificial neural network, it could be convolution neural network, you can have deep neural network, you can have recurrent neural network, you can have LSTM, you can have XYZ, XYZ, number of neural network can be formed. And I, if I am interested, I would get some good relationship, a good result because of some good relationship that I found. I can develop my own neural networks. Saurav neural network, SORNet, I can give the name also. Like we have DeepNet, DNN also. So you can design your own neural network, and that will be because of the relationship that you are developing new with this formula. Or else you are changing something, you are manipulating something in this structure also, and there is a lot to change in the structure. There is a lot to improve in this structure. Nobody has claimed that this structure is final and this is the base structure that will always be followed. No, this structure is the base one on which you can do couple of changes, and these changes, if are respecting you or are directing you to get good results, may help you to design your own neural network. Is that clear, everyone? Yeah, I'll come to this W and B also. Should I go ahead now? Okay, now let's talk about this formula. Y is equal to Wx plus B. So this Ws and B is the weight and this is your bias. This is weight and this is your biasing. Y is equal to Wx plus B. So what do you mean by weight? So suppose one person has met with three people. One is his father, friend, and one another relative, right? These three people are suggesting this person for one of the big topic in three different ways. He's saying something, he's saying something, he's saying something, right? So what is the possibility of this person to take decisions or take suggestions from father only or friend only? He will not even listen to father. Out of these three people who are suggesting three different things, what is the possibility of this person that he will go through with the father only? So it will depend upon the weight of that particular confidence through father has suggested something, right? So weight is something that gives you the confidence of projecting that energy is right or not. Okay. Similarly, bias is nothing but to adjust your energy. Suppose we talk about a coin. We have 99 coin in our hand. We have 9,999 rupees, 990 rupees suppose in my hand. So I would never tell that I have 9,990 rupees. I would always say that I have 10,000 rupees in my hand. So that last adjustment, 10k, okay. So last adjustment, okay. Suppose you have 10,005 rupees. Then also you will tell somebody that I have 10,000 rupees, not 10,005 rupees, right? So this last adjustment, a small adjustment to shape up that decision or that energy properly. If you're talking about 3.555555 energy, so indirectly you can say 3.6. Directly you can say 3.6. So what is that bias? Biasing, you know, helps you to you know, restructure, or maybe not restructure it, you know, shape your structure properly. Yeah, this could be right thing. So bias is somewhat a kind of parameter which helps you to design your structure properly, shape your structure properly. Is that clear, everyone? W is weight, yeah. Bias always 1. No, bias will not be always 1. If you write here 1, if you will write bias as 1, then y would come more than 1 always, right? So it's not like that. Your okay, one more thing. In your neural network, none of your variable, since starting as x till last, suppose this is your last output layer, and that I am talking about z. So z1, z2, z3, all these variable would be the output layer variables. Similarly, y would be the middle layer variables and x will be the input. Okay, so x is y is dependent upon x and z is dependent upon y. So what will happen in z? Z is equal to y into, sorry, w y w plus b, and this weight, this bias here for this connection would be different from this particular weight and bias. It can be same, it can be different depending upon your own choice, right? Every time w and b will be different, and what should be the value of w and b? That is the game only. The total game of deep learning is based on this w and this b. If you can handle this, and there are many ways to handle it, there are many ways to handle this w and b. If you can understand the, I mean, those ways of handling w and b, if I can tell you that there are 10 different ways that we have to deal with w and b, that is the main game, right? That is the actual you know, understanding of your neural network with respect to any problem statement that comes out to be with you know, biggest data set that you have. Okay, so always, either we talk about x, y or z, everywhere the value of this variable, value of this variable would never be outside from -1 to +1. It will always be in between -1 to +1. This range would be there for any particular neuron energy, right? So how many values could be possibly available in between -1 to 1? Million or billions or infinite, right? So infinite in combinations could be available. So whatever is happening through x, through y, should always have a value in between 0 to -1 to 1. So the example that we have taken already, that was for the neurons, right? We had 2 neurons here, we had 3 neurons here, we have 2 neurons in output layer also. I hope you have understood this concept. Right, this is the structure, this is your z, this is your x. So how many variables, how many outputs will be there, how many input neurons will be there, those are fixed. Suppose you have 2 parameters, let me tell you. So yesterday we were talking about good and bad people, right, based on marks and extracurricular activities. So we talked about 65% marks if some such a student would have in, you know, 10th class. Along with that, 5 extracurricular activity that he do, right? So this was the combination. So this x1, this is your x1, this is your x2. How many neurons will be there in input layer will depend upon how many features you are talking about. So if you have 2 features, only 2 input neurons are required. If you have 3 features, if you have 4 features, suppose you have 10 different data points, that doesn't matter. You have 50 data points, you have 100 data points, millions of data points, that doesn't matter. But if you have 2 features, then only 2 neurons are required. If you have 20 features, so based on number of features, number of input neurons will be available. So how many output neurons will be available? It depends upon your labels. Suppose you talk about 2 labels, good and bad, only two are required. So how many output do you need? That is in your that is in your hand. How many input neuron would be there? That will be also in your hand, because of number of features that you can increase or decrease, right? But here, how many number of neurons and number of layers will be available in hidden layer, that you have to decide along. And if you would increase the number of neurons or hidden layers, then these connection will also be increased. Because of the connections, you would have the formula once again, y is equal to wx to follow, and this formula would calculate everything again and again and again and again and again and again, and will check whether the answer that we are requiring can be right or wrong, good or bad. Okay, so it is clear, I hope, that how many input neurons, how to decide whether how many input neurons would be there. It will depend upon the number of input features. Okay, now you'll say that this feature has 65 value, and this x should not be outside from -1 to 1. Then how to convert this 65 to minus between -1 to 1? Anyhow, you have to have some formula, some method, some pre-processing calculation, that you can convert 65 and 5 both in between -1 to 1. Okay, so what you can do, you can divide both the values by 65. You can take an average of, you can take a delta, you can take gamma function. There are many functions which you can apply, and that is called as pre-processing, right? In pre-processing, before going for the execution of neural network, anyhow, this information should not exceed from -1 to 1. So convert this value with any reference to make it in between 0 to 1. If you can do this conversion, then that value will be processed. At the end, something will be coming, right? Based on this behavioral change in output, we can decide, we can work on any particular algorithm, machine learning algorithm of decision tree or KNN or SVM, right, to decide whether the information which has come out in output is of any use or not. Okay, is of any use or not. So machine learning algorithm, I will take only 10 more minutes to explain this particular thing. So suppose machine learning algorithm that you have, decision tree, KNN, right? KNN we were talking about yesterday. Any algorithm of classification type, regression type, or structuring type, or clustering type, whatsoever you have, you can apply after this output. Before this input of neural network, you can decide any particular pre-processing method, so that these value must be converted to the required values of neural network, and this neural network would process this information and convert it into output. So in other words, you can say that you have x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x10, 10 number of features based on 10 number of values. Here you will get only 2 values. Here you will get only 2 values, and these 2 values will not be the same as the input were available, but these value will be coming in such a way that you can easily differentiate. If you will make a graph of these output value, they should be a graph with proper categorization, that one data would be separated from the previous one or the another one. This is how it will give us the easiness of taking decision with any particular algorithm. So machine learning algorithm works after this deep learning, and this deep learning will work for us. This deep learning will help us to reduce your information. Here we had 10 inputs, here we have got only 2 outputs. Okay, let's forget about good and bad. These values can never be helpful for getting the output always. So from 10 inputs, we have got only 2 outputs. So initially we have given this sheet. This was the data set that we had for 10 features. The output that we will get here only for 2 columns, this one and this one. So we will try to plot this these values, or this value versus this value, and because of the plotting, we will try to identify which algorithm would be used, for this particular data, to identify or classify that it is for good and or bad. Understood? It is for good or bad. Now I hope you would have question in mind that why, I mean, after deep learning also, why we are using a machine learning algorithm. So deep learning would never help you to take decisions. Neural network, entire neural network comes under deep learning. 95% of neural network topic would come in deep learning, and whenever you're talking about neural network, then this neural network will never help you to take decision. It will only process the information from high or huge end of data, huge amount of data into a small amount of data, and that small amount of data would be encoded data, because in reality you have processed in x1, and in reality that you have accepted or got z1. So this z1 would have many alteration in between here, many formulas, many alterations or manipulations will be taken in between this neural network. Suppose here we have got 20-30 layers of hidden layer, and each layer has 10 to 50 neurons. Then what will happen? Everywhere number of calculation will be going through in between, and because of that z1 will get different different shape, different style, and that style will not be the same as input was. So that is why z1, z2, z3 information must be processed through any machine learning algorithm, right? So deep learning itself can never help you for any specific suggestion or decisions or predictions basically, right? It will it will never help you. But machine learning itself, without the use cases of deep learning, can never give you 100% result, 99% accuracy. Machine learning can give you only 90%, 95%, 98% of accuracy. So this deep learning helps us to get more accuracy along with machine learning, and that is the beauty of deep learning. If you ignore deep learning, everyone, then it is good, don't use it, right? If you can compromise with the accuracy, if you want more accuracy, more accuracy, more accuracy, and if your data is increasing day by day, day by day, day by day, if your data is increasing in hell amount of dimensions, but on the other hand that data is not being, I mean, we were not capable enough to drive that data that is increasing day by day with any particular algorithm that we have in machine learning. No machine learning algorithm is capable to deal with that huge amount of data. Then deep learning will come into picture. So use cases of deep learning will be two. The first is to increase the accuracy, and second is whenever you have huge amount of data that can never be handled with machine learning algorithm. Any algorithm that you talk about, if you have tbs of data, if you have a petabyte of data, then I'm sure it is not possible, or gbs of data also, I'm telling you, would not be processed with any machine learning algorithm. Okay, while whenever you will be using deep learning, I'm sure the processing would take a hell amount of time, and that is where the accuracy will take place. So to which, I mean, what exactly is important to you, the accuracy or that time this deep learning algorithm along with machine learning is taking care of, right? So that is where you have to take a decision. Is that clear? What is this neural network and how does it work, and manipulation those are possible in between. These manipulations are subjective matter, and there are many manipulations available, many formulas are available. I'll not go in manipulation of this thing. I'll go directly with my topic of OpenCV and computer vision further. I thought like I should explain you about the neural structure of our brain and neural structure of our computer, or neural structure of our program also in Python. Then what is neuron and how does this network forms, what is the formula in connection between the neurons, and how exactly do we relate, why do we use this deep learning basically in our AI, right? So is that clear, everyone? In our neural network takes a lot of computation, then it takes more time. So efficient, no, we'll not talk about efficient with respect to time only. Efficiency should have both the parameter inclusions, accuracy and time complexities. So now you decide whether which parameter is more important for you, and are not we going to implement it practically in program, sir? No, I'll use this concept for computer vision. If I'll go with this particular section for implementation, if sir will allow, Kapil sir, if you will allow, like we can, I mean, or you can arrange this particular kind of sessions further after some time, I'll try to go with deep learning in that topic only. I believe this was the part of machine learning only, the session that STC is going on. Later we can go with deep learning. I'll just go with complete detailed explanation of deep learning part itself. Okay, shall I go ahead now?